Today, we're going to play with the idea that you are currently living in the good old days. And what I mean by that is, I think we can all look back on our lives and there's, the good old days. You talk about it with your buddies or your family, or even think about it to yourself. The days where you had nothing to worry about. You know, all your food was cooked for you. You just had to go to school for like 6 hours, potentially have a little bit of homework, but the rest of the time was yours and you had no worries. Ignorance is bliss, and it was amazing. And they were the good old days. But if you could travel to the so called good old days, that version of you would dream to be where you are. That version, per se, for me, like when I was, let's say, like 10, I thought all my problems were going to be solved once I was 16 and had a car. And then, I became 16 and I got a car. And then I thought, well, all my problems are probably going to be solved, next year. I'm just a sophomore. Like I need to be a junior. Sports will be easier. It'll be, funner. I'll be older. I'll be seniority in the school. And then, you're a senior and you're like, I just need to get out of school. I want to start making money. I want to start pursuing my life, yada, yada, yada. And then, now you get to a position, you look back and you're like, those were the good old days. Like, it was so much fun, playing sports and yada, 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 or, whatever it may be. And it's sad because we do this our whole life. You know, we're waiting to live. We're waiting to enjoy life, and it's sad. It's always looking forward, thinking, I'll be happy when I get there. And when you look back, you realize those were the good old days, and you didn't even enjoy them. You didn't enjoy your youth because you couldn't wait to get old. And now you can't enjoy your old age because you miss your youth. You live neither. You live neither young nor old. You live, but you live young while you're old, and you live old while you're young. And it's sad. And I think realizing that you're living in the good old days right now, like right here, right now, no matter what's going on in your life, you're pretty good. I mean, I guess I don't know your situation, but for me, I'm probably gonna look back on this time and think these were the good old days, even though my days are riddled with anxiety and depression and sadness and loss and not knowing where I'm gonna end up in life. But I'm 22 years old. I mean, 80-year-old me would look back at this and be like, to wake up with no pain, to have the whole world ahead of me, to have my whole life ahead of me. What an amazing feeling that would be. But I live day to day, not truly enjoying. And that's why I need reminders that I'm currently living in the good old days, because I know it's true. 22 years old, I know these are the good old days. No matter what I'm doing, I know these are the good old days for how my body feels, the potential unknown. The unknown, I mean, is, I heard a quote recently and it was, we don't fear the unknown because you can't fear what you don't know, but we fear losing the known. And that was powerful for me to hear. And I think it's so true. We don't fear taking the risk. We fear what will happen to what we know when we take the risk. The change of scenery, the change of habit, the change of lifestyle. That's what we fear. Because the unknown can't be scary. Because you don't know what is so scary about something you don't know. What is there to be afraid of? You don't know. You don't know what is there. It's the fear is not is the fear is losing what you know. And that's helped me recently, a little sidetrack. But yeah, there's so many times in my past where I've been realized that I was living in the good old days and I didn't even realize it. And I think same is probably true for a lot of you listening to this. You know, you were young and, like I said, you couldn't wait to get old. And then now you're older and you can't wait to either be older or you just dwell on your youth, and both are bad positions. You know, we never truly live in the present, and the present alone is where we live. You're not your past and you're not your future. You're your present self. And you can always derive happiness no matter where you are, what you're going through, as long as you realize that and realize the present alone is your happiness. And realize that potentially one day you'll be looking at this as the good old days. And also, think of all the people in the world who you're currently living their dream life. You know, think of all the people outside of America who would just love to have clean drinking water, or, you know, work all day manual labor for minimal amount of pay and do it all again next day. And they have 7 days a week. You know, there's not a day off. You know, I currently get 3 days off. I work, you know, 4 10s. And there's probably so many people in this world that would think their whole life would be solved and everything would be amazing if they could work 4 10s with having a steady job and with a steady income, and, you know, the life that I live. So many people, I bet, would think this was the dream life. And then someone currently living this person's dream can only think about this person's life. And then that person, it looks at that person and says that they're living the dream, or they look back at you and say you're living the dream. You know, you have less responsibilities. You have it easier than me. I have so much responsibilities. You know, I might have these, might have this, but you have that. You know, everyone has their own thing, and it's sad to envy anybody for these reasons, because when you're envying this person, at the same time that person could be envying you, and the feelings could both be true in each other. And how sad that is for two people to envy each other. You're both living each other's dream. It's sad, and it's not even true, because, you know, you don't know what people are really living. You don't know their real life. You don't know what they feel day to day. So I think it's just good to realize that where you are right here, right now is enough. And you're currently living either someone's dream life, or you're currently living in the good old days. And you're going to look back and you're going to wish you could be, in my case, I'm going to wish I could be 22 again. And I'm going to wish I could have a day like today, you know, like a beautiful summer's day on a Saturday. I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with this day or with my life. And it's the good old days. But I struggle with that. And it helps me reel me back in, for sure. But to need the reminder is proof that I struggle, and proof that it's hard for me, and proof that I need these reminders, like realizing that I'm living someone's dream life, realizing that these are the good old days, realizing how much I have that I need to be grateful for, you know, negative visualizing how much worse this day could be, and how lucky I am that it's not like that, and how it didn't take the turn for the worse. You know, I woke up and I didn't break my leg walking down the stairs. You know, it's a good day. And someone probably did today. Someone somewhere probably broke their leg walking down the stairs this morning, or twisted their ankle, or did something. And I didn't do that. I had a pretty normal day, and that's not a bad thing. And that's not a bad thing. You know, life is not about thrills. It's not about the thrills and the spills. Because in this book I've been reading, Awareness by Anthony DeMello, he talks about depression follows thrills. And he talks about it from a spiritual sense. But I think the science literature backs it up as well. Because if you have a very exciting experience, your dopamine shoots up. And then once you go back to a normal experience, your normal day-to-day life, you know, your dopamine, it doesn't go back to baseline. It goes below baseline. And then you're sad. Or no, I think it's something like that, but I might be wrong with that analogy, or with that with that graph, that visual graph, but it's something along those lines where it's like if you go on a vacation, like the post trip vacation depression is a real thing because of dopamine, because of these things. So when you seek thrills, you're just setting yourself up for depression after. And how much better would it be to just be happy all the time? And I'm not saying that you can't go on vacation. I'm not saying you can't go do these things. I'm not saying you can't have thrills and have fun, but it shouldn't be a distraction and a replacement from your real life. It should be an extension. It should be, I'm doing this because life is great and I have nothing to worry about. It shouldn't be, I'm doing this to get away from this problem. I don't think that's how vacations and things should be taken. Because if that's really how you have to live your life, I think it's pretty sad. And I mean, I hope I don't get to that position one day, or even continue to be in that position for the most part. Um, but yeah, just remind yourself you're living the good old days, and if you really think your life's going bad right now, you have, say you're in a full body cast, or sorry for laughing if you are. That's not good. But if you're in a position like that, um, someone's got it worse. You do not have it the worst in the world. There's only one person that's got it the worst. And there's a very good chance that you're not watching my video because not a lot of people watch my videos. So someone's got it worse than you. And if you are the one who has it the worst, just imagine someone's got it worse for you than within you. It's ignorance is bliss. You'll feel better. So yeah, remember you're living someone's dream life and you're currently living your own dream life because this currently is the good old days.